Chris Paul, aka CP3, he has done marginally well with every team he's went to. Tyson Chandler, he made him look like an all-star. So the Clippers get the best record they ever had when he comes there, right? Because they weren't players, once again, that were going to win you any championships. Why isn't Chris Paul considered as an MVP candidate? What's going on, everybody? This your boy L64, and welcome to the journey. And this is Cruising and Conversation. Yeah, I like that. I get it. I like it. Anyway, this Cruising and Conversation. Today, I want to change up gears a little bit from some of the things I've been talking about. And for all my fellas, my basketball heads, all my ladies that love basketball, we're going to talk about hoops. And we're going to talk about my man, my favorite player, Chris Paul, aka CP3, the point guard himself. All right? To me, at this point, he's my favorite player. He's my MVP candidate. I don't care what you say about his stats. I don't want to hear none of that. But let's talk about the disrespect. The reason I'm doing this video today is because I saw something that ESPN posted. I'm going to put it up on the screen, so check it out. I'm going to show you an image, and I want y'all to look at that for a minute. Make sure you look at it good. Okay, so if you're looking at the image that I put on the screen, it's basically telling you the success that this man has had no matter where he's played at. It doesn't matter if he's played for teams that were sorry. It doesn't matter if they had decent players. He has done marginally well with every team he's went to, right? So, with that being said, I'm tired of this disrespect. Like, I was listening to them talking about the MVP candidates and everything like that. So they got to talking about, of course, Joel Embiid. Great players, by the way. Hey, I'm not taking anything away from these players. So don't think I'm an idiot. I understand basketball, and I understand that these players are good. But let's talk about it. Joel Embiid, right? Talking about the Joker, Nikola Jokic, all right? You talking about DeMar DeRozan. Now they talking about Devin Booker, my guy. That's my guy, CP3 teammate, right? But I'm going to tell you my issue with all of this. You watch a guy like Chris Paul, and I'm going to just give you the quick rundown, and you can refer back to the picture that I posted. Chris Paul went to New Orleans straight out of college. Makes the franchise win more games. The New Orleans Hornets at the time, now they're Charlotte. He took this team to the most wins they ever had, all right? Went against Kobe Bryant in the playoffs. Did phenomenal, okay? He had David West. He had Peja Stojakovic and a couple other players on David West, Stojakovic, and some other players. But at the end of the day, subpar. It was a subpar team compared to the other teams, all right? So then in another situation, you get him going to the Clippers afterwards. He goes to the Clippers. The Clippers was the laughingstock of the NBA at the time. He goes to the Clippers, right? Now all of a sudden, you got Lob City in the building. Lob City. You know what I'm saying? DeAndre Jordan out there looking like a superstar. He makes players and teams better wherever he goes. That is the point of what I'm talking about as far as the disrespect and how people don't really acknowledge what this man has done. Keep in mind, Chris Paul, 36, 37 years old, 6 feet tall right now, putting up good numbers, great numbers. He's leading the league in assists, over 10 assists a game, right? Averaging about 15, 16 points a game, give or take. This guy is doing some great things. Everywhere he goes, he makes players better, okay? Tyson Chandler, he made him look like an all-star. Not that he's sorry, he made him look like an all-star. He made all these players get bigger contracts. He goes to the Clippers. Man, we talking about a town that's run by the Lakers. Anybody who watch basketball know the Lakers is the team of that town. They go there, they got Lob City. All of a sudden, people looking at them more than they looking at the Lakers. They winning more than the Lakers. Going to the playoffs, doing bigger things. Beat Golden State. You know, so Chris Paul starts having injury issues. Keep in mind, he also was at the Olympics too. He also played for the Olympic teams as the starting point guard. So, I mean, this guy, the NBA recognized his brilliance and his greatness as a point guard. So, moving forward, he goes to the Clippers. He got Blake Griffin there coming out of Oklahoma. He was already there before Chris Paul. You had DeAndre Jordan. But these players at the time was not going to carry you to where they went to when he came. So the Clippers get the best record they ever had when he comes there, right? Do the math on this. Check it out, all right? Then after that ends, he has a couple injuries. He starts seeming like he's, I don't want to say washed up, but he's definitely having injury problems and things like that with his health. So Chris Paul does what he's supposed to do. He get himself together. They trade him. He goes to Houston. All right, now he's playing alongside James Harden, the up-and-coming kid. I mean, at that time, James Harden was the man. He was the man at that time. So he goes to Houston. What do? They start winning. They break a record. They have the best record they ever had when he went there, right? So if you're looking at all that, stupid idiot, why would you be riding in between? Some of these people make me so sick, just stupid. So anyway, right? So you're looking at him go to Houston, and when he went to Houston, they won a record number of games, right? So James Harden and him kind of couldn't get along because everybody knows when it comes to Chris Paul or whatever, Chris Paul's an alpha, right? So besides Chris Paul being an alpha, one of the things, man, what they giving out? Teas down here? Goodness gracious. Come on. So at the time, you got to realize Chris Paul an alpha. Him and James Harden didn't get along for whatever reason, whatever they had going on, all right? So with that being said, he ends up leaving Houston after they do some of these great things, have great seasons together, but they say Chris Paul the problem. He can't get along with nobody. He can't do this. You don't want to play alongside him. So they went and got Russell Westbrook, right? Of course, when they got Russell Westbrook, they didn't do that great. And that's no disrespect to Russell Westbrook. I like him, but he ain't Chris Paul. So, all right, Chris Paul goes to OKC. This is what I really want you guys to pay attention to. This is the situation that if nothing earned respect, this should get respect. He goes to OKC after they lose Paul George, right? And they lost Russell Westbrook. This is after Kevin Durant. All these people done left, right? He goes there with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a couple other players that really, I'm not going to sit here and go into it because they weren't players, once again, that were going to win you any championships. Shai Gilgeous up and coming. So he goes there. They say that he's not even going to make the playoffs, right? So not only does he make the playoffs, I think they finished in 7th place that year, something like that. So not only do they make the playoffs, but they go there and they compete against his old team that he just left, the Houston Rockets. And what do? Take them to a Game 7 where they barely lost the game. Do you hear me? They barely lost the game. It came down to the final seconds of the game. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to tell you is every team that he went to, he made them better. No other player could have done those things. Maybe so, I haven't seen it. Going to all these teams and just winning. So remember, more than anything, y'all want to look at his stats. If you want to say, oh, well, he don't average as many points as this person, it's not about that. I'm talking about what he does for a franchise. I'm talking about what he does for other players. He gets players paid. Bigger contracts. Everything you can think of, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So now, here we are. I was even questioning this when he went to Phoenix. And my little nephew, Q, he was like, Uncle Mon, he going to be all right. Because I wanted him to play with LeBron, to be real with you. I said, this man deserved to have a shot at a title, right? So he goes to Phoenix. I said, God, he's not going to win a championship now, right? So lo and behold, Chris Paul goes to Phoenix. Now, that year, everybody wanted to make excuses and say, oh, well, there was all this stuff going on and COVID was going on. Some players was in the bubble. I mean, the teams was dealing with the bubble and all of this stuff. People got hurt on the Lakers. That's why they won. Call it what you want. But they ended up going all the way to the championship playing against Milwaukee, and they came up short. Keep in mind, I don't know if y'all noticed, Chris Paul's thumb was screwed up. So he was playing injured, but he kept playing anyway, right? Because that's what Chris Paul do. He's a warrior when it comes to that. So Chris Paul goes on and he plays, right? So I'm just talking about the level of disrespect of what this man does. So they go to the playoffs, right? And they lose all the way to the championship. Now, here we are this year. They got the best record in the league. Chris Paul is still putting up crazy numbers, right? We back up. So they putting up crazy numbers or whatever, and they won a record-breaking 63 games up to this point right now. So I'm not understanding how this man still isn't getting the respect that he deserves as a player. Pause for 1 second, all right? All right, so let's fast forward to this year, okay? Chris Paul is playing for the Suns, and they end up having the best record in the league. It ain't no fluke. You still got other teams that's supposed to be dominant, but this is what they do. Now, granted, he got Devin Booker, who's a great talent, one of my favorite players. I would probably put him in my top 5. Yeah, I'll probably put him in my top 5 right now, right? But the problem is, when I look at this MVP race, everybody talking about everybody but Chris Paul. How the hell can you talk about MVP? I thought it was called most valuable player. So if this man is this valuable to his team, how the hell is it that he's still not being considered for MVP candidate? Because you know why? We going off of all these statistical categories like scoring, things that look good on paper. So let me ask y'all this. Steve Nash won MVP back-to-back years with similar numbers at a younger age, right? With another Hall of Famer. How come at 36 or 37 years old, Chris Paul won't get the same type of consideration? Why wouldn't he be considered for MVP? If he came to the Phoenix Suns, another thing that I left out, that I forgot to tell y'all, remember, prior to Chris Paul, they hadn't been to the playoffs since I think 2010. 2010 was the last year. It may have been 11, but I want to say 2010. So this man coming to the team, it's no coincidence that all of a sudden y'all go all the way to the championship or start winning. This is what I'm talking about. We got to give this man respect. And look, up to this point before Chris Paul, I was liking Magic Johnson as my #1 point guard of all time. And I'm not talking about stats. I'm talking about stats and just what this man, the joy this man played with and the passion that he played with. All right? But Chris Paul, at this point, y'all can say I'm crazy, is my favorite point guard of all time. They don't call him the point guard for nothing because he plays that position like no other. You got to understand that. He plays that position like nobody else could play it. You understand what I'm saying? This man is a genius. Not only is he a genius, not only can he play, but his mind is different. It's not just about his physical attributes, because it's a lot of players that might be more athletic. It might be a lot of players that can shoot better than him. It might be some other players who can do things, but Chris Paul is the total package. Even at his size, he's still a pretty good defender. You're not going to just destroy him and do whatever you want to do to him. He's strong. He's physically strong, you know? So what I'm saying, he's a good defender. He's a great scorer when he want to be. He's a good scorer, and he's a facilitator. He's a pass-first guard. So y'all, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about this Chris Paul discussion. Last year, I think he could have went for MVP. You know, we're going to talk about how much a team winning. Okay, Nikola Jokic, they're a lot younger. They're going to have a lot more opportunities to get MVPs. Same thing with Devin Booker. And now that man is great. I'm going to tell you something too. Jokic is the truth. I had to gain respect for him because of what I saw from him more recent. But I'm going to just say this. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Why isn't Chris Paul considered as an MVP candidate? Why? Why wouldn't he be? You know what I mean? So, excuse me. So what I'm saying, why wouldn't he be considered an MVP candidate? With all of, for what he's done in his career, he's never really even been talked about as an MVP candidate. I think one time he finished 5th. One time he finished 5th, I think. So leave the comments in the bottom. Let me know what y'all think about this. I'm going out on a limb and I'm saying Chris Paul, the best point guard that ever played the game. That's my opinion. There's other point guards that were great. John Stockton, statistically, man, I don't know if anybody ever gonna catch his assist record. I just don't. Shout out to John Stockton. But CP3 is my guy. I watch that man play every day, and he makes it look easy. He makes it look easy. So, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. CP3 for MVP. That's what I'm saying. All right? And even if y'all don't want to consider him for MVP, guess what? Is he not? Where does he rank on your point guard list? Where does he rank on your point guard list? For me, he's my number one. And if he ain't number one, you got to put him in the top 5. But what do y'all think? He number one for me, like I said. I'm curious to see what y'all think about this. All right? So, I'm getting ready to sign off. It's your boy L64. Welcome to the journey. I'm exiting the journey right now in this session. And I'm going to see y'all on my next adventure. Make sure y'all check out that Culture Los Angeles clothing line. Culture spelled with a K. All right? And I appreciate the love and support as always. And everybody be safe. Everybody take care of yourself. Much love, peace, and blessings. All right? I'll see y'all on the next adventure. I'm out.